Hey, what's up, guys? A little late on this video. I just actually watched the Minnesota game. Wasn't able to watch it last night. Tried real hard. Taped it. Passed out. Thank God I taped it. But wow. Holy crap. Whew. 26 turnovers last night. What an ugly, ugly game. Abysmal. But we were able to claw our way back into the game. Stuck to our game plan and pulled out that win. First overtime win of the season. If you remember last year, we were pretty bad in OT. 1 for 4, so hopefully our luck has changed in that area. JoJo was huge in that game last night, as he is every night. Just very, very sloppy with the ball, but that's been all season long. Jimmy Butler was a beast last night. We had no answer for him. We had nobody to slow him down. What could I say? Offensive rebounding was terrible. We don't block out. A lot of the same stuff over and over again. I do have to say I love Trevor Booker. I love the play I've seen out of him. We were able to get back our guys healthy. We just got to get healthy is really what the big thing is. Because, Embiid didn't play for those 2 games. I knew we weren't going to beat Cleveland or New Orleans without him, obviously. We just got to really, really, really get healthy. We got to get Fultz back in the lineup. Covington went out with that back contusion. He hasn't been able to go. But it was a team effort, conservative team effort. I love Richaun Holmes in the starting lineup because he brings energy, he can rebound. He can score in all different facets of ways. He can shoot, high energy points, dunk, get put back shots. He's got a little post game in his repertoire too. So, I love that energy off the bench because we need those bench points. And I think the reason we were able to claw back into that game is because of how many minutes the Timberwolves play. He only had an 8-man rotation. They have some of the highest minutes per play for players out of the whole league. I think on average, I think Jimmy Butler averages 37 minutes a game, but at one point, Karl Anthony Towns, I think, played for like 49 minutes or something like that. Your legs are not under you at that point. You need rest. And if you do go into overtime, you're not going to have your legs under you. You're not going to be able to hustle, score. And it just played better for us. Played right in our hand. So thank God that happened. Because we played a terrible game. We had a lot of shots go in and out. Thought Dario was huge. Defensively, got a lot of good offensive rebounds. And how about those moves by Embiid? Wow. Woo. Man, that man is nimble. That step to the side, he did it 3 times. Where he did it on Cat and he did it on Baldy. What's his name? Taj Gibson. So he was 2 assists away from getting a triple-double. I was hoping he was going to get it. He was awesome. Ben Simmons didn't have his best game, but he set up his teammates. I wish he would work more into the paint when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, because he could be a real good cutter. As we saw tonight, Embiid could feed him the ball or have other guys feed him the ball. Just to get his offensive motions going in place. But this was a huge win for us, guys. We ended that 4-game losing streak, which was huge. It puts us back into the 7th seed now. But I think Brett Brown, this was huge for Brett Brown too, and just the overall confidence of the team. We needed it. The team looked very, very bad over the past week and a half, I'd say. We were awful against the Lakers. And, we got to beat up teams like this. This was a good team that we beat last night. A very, very good team. Playoff team. Number 4 seed in the West. They're young. Wiggins wasn't on, so that was huge. KAT, you could do as much as possible with him. No, I can't. Cowboys X Factor. I'd love to, but no. That isn't going to happen. But I thought Brett, called the necessary timeouts and drew up plays. And we executed them. It's just abysmal on the turnovers and blocking out. But I think we're going to see a lot more mixing and matching with Brett as the time goes on. Richaun Holmes coming off the bench a lot more. But I like him in the starting lineup. I really, really do. And even when Covington comes back, I hope that he puts Richaun in there more often than not. Yeah, I'd love to be the GM, Cowboys X Factor. But, TJ's finally getting back healthy. Yeah, I did, Alpha Jack. That was awesome. I really, really did. It's always a battle between those two. If you remember last year in Philly, we ended it on a putback by Covington. That was huge. But we split the series last year with the Minnesota, with the Timberwolves. But I think these two teams are the up-and-coming teams of the future. These are the teams to look out for. Obviously, the Sixers and the Timberwolves. Even when they still had Zach LaVine, they had a big, strong three. But getting Jimmy Butler was huge for them. They needed veteran presence, much like we did, much like we still kind of do. You know, you have all these young guys. They don't know how to win. You need that veteran presence in there to settle down the young kids that have been there, know what to do, and bringing in J.J. Redick and Egghead, Jared Bayless, Trevor Booker. You need guys like that are, going to calm these kids down when stuff gets rough, because they haven't been there before. They don't know what to do, and that can really weigh on a team. But Minnesota, with big win, hurt them. It also helped that they shot, I think they only hit 5 threes. I think they were 5 for 26 behind the arc. So them not being able to hit those shots helped us hang around in that game, because, God, dude, we had, I think, 9 turnovers in the first quarter. We really got to cut down on these careless passes and not being able to, execute plays down the stretch or even in the beginning of the games. To have 9 turnovers that quick, something's going wrong. So now we have 2 days off. We got that game coming up Friday against OKC. They're coming off a big win against the Pacers tonight. Now we're going to have to bring our A game. Even though they're not playing well together, got to get busy and miss the games lately. I have been too. I am New Jersey. I've been missing the games because of my work schedule. It sucks. I've been working 4 a.m., so not, being late on these videos kind of sucks for me. I hate it. But I got to do what I got to do. I can't stay up for close to 24 hours. And I'd like to watch the game live. I hate watching it, already knowing what the outcome of the game's going to be. But when I'm looking at the score, I'm like, it was so low score. I'm like, there's got to be a offensive outburst at some point. But Sixers still having a lot of the same headaches. Turning the ball over, not blocking out, giving up easy shots. We were great on the assist end, 32. We passed the ball really well, but that also shoots us in the foot sometimes. Minnesota being one of the top teams in steals. They had, I think they had 17 steals tonight. That's pathetic. Between that and that Lakers game, you're making these teams look like all defensive teams. What's up, man? I was at the Sports Fury Twitter or this shit channel. Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Are you just a new subscriber? Yeah, I hate watching, well knowing that score, so I read about it and then listen to your views. I appreciate that, bro. But it was a tough game to watch. I'm just glad we were able to get this win. This should help, like I said, this should help build on our confidence going into that game, going against a very tough team on Friday. Even though they're not playing well together, you've got 3 stars on that team, 3 Hall of Famers. You got Westbrook, you got PG-13, and then you got Melo. They're kind of having the same woes we are. I think they're going to have to move Melo to the bench, but that's neither here or there. Westbrook always kills us when he comes to Philly, so we're going to have to be our A game for that. I don't know if they should really put Ben on Westbrook. I really hope they don't, because he's going to break his ankles every time. We really have a problem with guard penetration. What do you think of Ben Simmons after that low-stat game and a couple of these happening over the past? It would worry me because, like I said before, him being so passive on the offensive end, I hate it. It drives me insane because he passes up easy shots, and when he does shoot, it's always with his one hand. He doesn't really have a floater. He refuses to take jump shots for whatever reason, and that plays into the defense's hand because they know what you're going to do. You can get to the 10 whenever he wants. I don't know why he doesn't take advantage of it, because they have the guards on him. They don't really need to put bigger guys on them because he knows he's a pass-first player. And I feel like if he did get aggressive on that, and, dude, you could back down these guys. You got 60 pounds on these dudes. And let alone being heavier, you've got at least 6 to 7 inches on these cats, too. So he could exploit the guards on the offensive end. So it worries me, but he adds other elements than other than his scoring. You know, he adds with his assist, his vision. So he gets points that way. So I'm not too concerned with that. And he does get steals on the defensive end. I love seeing him on the fast break, but I love seeing what he did against Minnesota by cutting on the weak side and Embiid being able to feed him to get those easy dunks. I would like to see him improve because I hate when even when he's like 6 to 8 feet out from the basket, it's always with his one hand. It's like, dude, put your other hand on the ball, spot up, and hit the shot. OKC should trade Melo. Melo's just in a black hole at this point. He can't play with anybody. You got 3 ISO players on one team with OKC. Simmons should shoot right-handed, even though I've seen him shoot right-handed in practice. We've all seen it in practice. We've seen it in his workouts. He can hit the shots. I just don't know if he gets in his own head and he just freezes and doesn't want to. He's hesitant. But that's where you got to be a proactive player. You got to be aggressive, and you just got to throw that shot up. If it misses, it's all right. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen. And I think he's just not there yet offensively with his shot. He doesn't have any confidence in it. I feel like he's going to have to knock down every shot for himself, just for his being, for it to be able to go in and for him to feel confident to be able to knock down these shots. But it doesn't. It's just, I feel like it would be bad mentality for him to miss this one shot and then he's never going to take it again. Or it's going to be a long stretch. I think I've seen him take 2 jump shots the entire season, which can't happen. Because, again, you play into the defense's hands. They don't really have to game plan around you. And now that he's not even really driving to the hole anymore, they know you're going to pass first, so they're just going to leave you out there on an island. So I definitely want Brett Brown to really get into his head, and even the vets, too, to really coach him up, tell him to be aggressive on the offensive end. But he's still being effective with his vision. I think he had a really couple nice assists tonight, 2 really nice alley-oops to Richaun Holmes. I tell you how much I love seeing Richaun Holmes. Now that he's finally getting playing time. I never understood why he wasn't getting any time before Okafor was traded. Even though Okafor wasn't taking any minutes away from him. He should be getting minutes over Amir Johnson. I'm sorry. Anybody else cringing when he touches the ball? I mean, he's terrible. He's abysmal. He can't even dunk. And why is he shooting threes? Stop. Dude, don't even be in the offensive set at all. You're there to rebound, and half the time he can't even dunk. He can't even put one back. So I don't know why he's out there. I feel like he should be getting like 8 minutes tops. I know he's a veteran presence, but he takes a lot of minutes. Obviously, when Embiid's either in foul trouble or when he needs a breather. But Richaun Holmes should be taking that once everybody's back healthy. And they should be leaning more and more towards Richaun Holmes. The guy's been patient, great energy guy, can block shots, better defensively. He actually has somewhat of an offensive game. He can stretch the floor a little bit, and players got to be honest for him when he's behind the three-point line because he can hit it. He shot 35% last year. You saw him hit it tonight. He had two hit threes. One was taken away because of a foul call. But love the energy, and Booker too. Love the energy that he brought tonight. And, small sample size of him really not playing that many minutes. I think he played like 13 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. 12 points, 4 boards, an assist. He had a really nice block on that fast break. Just a high-energy guy. You really want to have those guys on your benches. And he chipped in some points. Bench wasn't overpowering. It's all right. They did their job. And you can see what riding your starters can do with Minnesota. Carmelo is horrible, overrated, messes up team chemistry. He does. But I just think that's a bad situation for OKC because, again, you have 3 ISO guys on one team all starting. That's not going to work. They all need the ball in their hand to be effective. PG-13 can really work off the ball out of all 3 of them, I think. But he's more effective when he does have the rock in his hand. And Melo doesn't play defense. He needs the ball in his hand. He doesn't work well off the ball. I don't know what they're going to do. He should be leading the second unit, but that's up to Billy Donovan and that brass to figure out what they're going to do with that. Hopefully we can exploit that on Friday. They got Steven Adams. That's going to be on Embiid. He's a very good defender. So you saw we really were banging down low tonight, and I think we can be effective. We fall in love with the jump shot too much. We do. And it hurts us because if them shots aren't dropping, it's one and done. And that's really bad for your offensive sets. You don't just want to go up there, pop a shot, and then that be it. You have to get offensive rebounds. You got to get second chance points. You have to draw plays. And I'm starting to see that guys are, once Embiid gets the ball, they're all just standing around watching. You always got to be constantly moving. And I know Brett is screaming at the team for them to move. So you just can't watch one guy do everything. It's just, you ain't going to win that way. We got lucky tonight again, having 26 turnovers. You're not going to win games like that. We were able to eke one out, but on a consistent basis, you cannot turn the ball over that much. Minnesota did a great job at not turning the ball over. You can't do that against a team like OKC. Even though they're not playing well, they can really light it up. Russell Westbrook is a freak of nature. He's a triple-double machine. He can score in a flash. He's great. He can hit big shots when he's open. Same with PG-13. I'm very nervous about the game on Friday. I'm just hoping we can stick to our game plan. Covington's back. We're going to be able to knock our shots down. J.J. Redick is a huge defensive liability. He's going to do the best that he can, but he needs to be out there to keep the defense honest when Embiid gets the ball down in the post for him to be able to kick it out and knock down shots. Dario isn't as reliable. He had a great couple shots tonight behind the three-point line. He was able to knock them down. I thought he played really well tonight. Because you need players like that for Embiid and Simmons behind the three-point line. When they're getting doubled, you kick it out and they hit the shots, obviously. That's how we were able to get back in this game and win it. And what was also great, in overtime last night, one turnover. One turnover, we were able to pull away with the win. So, ding, ding, ding. Hopefully that sticks with the kids. Big, big win for us, though. Huge to end that 4-game skid. So frustrating to watch us lose to some of the teams that we did. But back in the 7th seed, we're 14-13. Let's just keep climbing, keep on building. And it's just, we lay down against crappy teams and we bring it all against the good teams. I don't know why we can't have that same mentality. I'm sorry, I'm in New Jersey. Can you answer that question again? I missed it. But you got to have that same mentality. We have this huge win to build off of for Brett Brown and the team. And what was I saying? So I was saying earlier about the minutes. That's why you can't consistently ride your best guys, your best players. Because if they're not on and your bench doesn't do anything, you're screwed. You saw that happen with Minnesota last night. Jimmy Butler was just on fire. He held them in that game the whole time. And that last shot, it was on point, on line. I thought he was going to drain it. Just like when the Lakers hit it, even though it was very well defended. But you can't have your guys ride your horses like that throughout the whole game because then they're done at one point. They're going to get tired. They're not going to be able to do everything. And then other guys are cold because they haven't done anything throughout the whole game. We're missing a piece. Who should we try to get in a trade? I think we need a scorer off the bench, to tell you the truth. I'd love to have Lou Will back in the Philadelphia. I think he's a guy that can really light it up, can get buckets. We need a type of player like that. I got what you meant. But I think we need a player like that. So if we could try to get a Lou Will, I'm trying to think who else that we could really benefit coming off our team. We need, I think, another guard on this team that's able to knock down shots. Because I have zero faith in Jared Bayless. He hit 2 threes tonight, which is okay. But within that stretch, over the past couple games, he was 1 for 13. When Fultz comes back, they should try Simmons at forward. I think that is going to happen, but Fultz will be coming off the bench when he does finally come back, whenever that may be. My guess is towards the end of December. I'm thinking maybe for the New York game on Christmas. But he would be another option off the bench. Another guard, a guy that can light it up, but he was struggling in the beginning of the season. Was that because of his shoulder? We'll have to wait and see. I think it was rookie woes. Rookie woes. Try to say that 3 times fast. And the shoulder being an issue because he wasn't able to take the threes like he did in college. I really want to get him back. Getting in the even flow with this team. Because when we were cooking there for a little bit, when we were 13-7, having him off the bench, I don't think we would have lost to teams like L.A., and who was that? The Phoenix Suns, teams like that. You know what I mean? But I would try to still trade for a veteran piece, a guy that can really light it up off the bench. Or a guy like Eric Bledsoe would have been a nice piece over here, but Milwaukee was able to nab him. Avery Bradley should be the top free agent. I want Avery Bradley on this team. He is the perfect fit for the Sixers. Huge fit if we could get him. He's a 3-and-D guy, plays great defense around the perimeter. That's a huge problem for us, too. A huge Achilles heel for us is guarding the perimeter. There's always guys taking way too many open shots behind the arc, and it's horrible. We never learn from it, but we really, really have to follow that Spurs model if we're going to. They're great defenders around the perimeter, and they shoot threes and they knock them down. We need another threat from behind the arc, too, which is what he does. He's improved every year he's been in the league. I really wanted him. When Boston had him, we weren't able to make a deal. I was hoping we could trade Ja or Nerlens or whoever they wanted to try to obtain Avery Bradley. It just never came to fruition. But love to get Avery Bradley. I thought he signed a contract extension with Detroit, but if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. I'd really have to look into that. But he should be a top priority. I definitely agree. I'm trying to think who else in that free agent class. I mean, I know you got the Greek Freak, but he's not going to come here. You still got KP Porzingis, but this is all illusions. Getting those guys is like a dreamboat. We can't really rely on that ever happening, and I don't even know how they would fit. But the Knicks would be stupid to let him go, and I don't see it ever coming to fruition. And he's not leaving Milwaukee ever. Because after LeBron finally does retire, he's going to be the new king of the league, in my opinion. I think he's better than Kevin Durant. Wesley Matthews might be a free agent. Thoughts on him? He's a guy that plays good defense. He's getting a little seasoned, a little older. I don't know how much money he's going to demand. He's had a couple injuries, too. Would I give him a flyer? I wouldn't mind Wesley Matthews. He's a guy that plays some defense. Back in the day when he was with Portland, he was a beast. I wanted him for sure. But we weren't able to obtain him. And you got to look at it this way, too. Before, nobody wanted to come here because of our situation. But now look at our situation. It's a little better, and we've got young and up-and-coming stars. So we're not going to have to overpay players to come here like the Amir Johnsons, like the Egghead Baylesses, so on and so forth. We were able to get a good free agent this year with J.J. Redick. So the tide is turning. You got to look at I haven't really looked at the free agent class just yet. I'm not there just yet just because it's so early in the season. And I'm not even looking into the draft either. I saw Michael Porter Jr. went out for the season with his back. I don't know if he's going to come into the draft or Paul, is he not re-signed? Yeah, Paul George is a free agent. I don't know if he'd come here either. That's like one of them dream scenarios where you get an all-star, a phenomenal player like that, like a Paul George, a KP. Antetokounmpo. I think Antetokounmpo is still locked up for another year. I don't think he's a free agent until 2019, though, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, LeBron. I don't think he will, but hey. Hey, man, we could always dream. Nothing's ever out of the realization of that happening. Could it happen? Sure. Will it happen? I don't know. Fingers crossed. You imagine if we could bring in, like, a LeBron and, like, a KP? That'd be crazy. But that's been the big news, too, to try to recruit LeBron here. I think what's gonna happen by the end of the season, whatever the Cleveland does, where that top pick falls. Yes, the Red Sixers will try for LeBron. We'd be stupid not to. I don't know how he'd fit in the system here. I'm kind of weary of it just because of what he does. It's kind of like a cancer sometimes. I don't know if he'd hurt or help the development of Ben Simmons. To be honest, I'm the Sixers. I would look to trade the Lakers pick this season. We have enough young talent. Well, remember, that Lakers pick was involved in the trade what we did with Fultz this year. So we technically don't have that. I would go after Damian Lillard. Oh, man, I'd love Damian Lillard on this team. Is he a free agent next year? I can't see Portland getting rid of him, though. Him and McCollum are they're two building blocks for the future. But Damian Lillard would look great in the red and blue out here in Philly. Would definitely try to recruit him heavily. Yeah, I'd have to really that's an idea for a show. I'd have to look at the free agent class and then talk about who we could pursue. But I think for LeBron, if he's going to leave Cleveland, I can't see him going out to L.A. I mean, they do have building blocks, and is he the piece to really put them over the top to go win a championship? No, I think we're light years ahead of the L.A. Lakers. So we would be in more consideration for him to come here. But I think it's going to determine to where that pick falls for Cleveland. Remember, they got that Nets pick in the trade with Boston. So if they were able to land the number one pick, Michael Porter Jr. is out for the season. I can't see him really entering the draft since he only played, I think, 15 minutes of basketball in his college career. I think he would come back to try to improve his stock. But I think they're going to go after Bagley from Duke. And if they could add him, that kid's a stud. Or that European kid. I think it begins with Doncic or whatever his name is. If they could land him with the pieces they have now, I could see LeBron even staying in Cleveland. But another time, another show. Draft and free agent class way, way too far down the road to really be talking about that. But that will be an idea. But big win for the Sixers, guys. 118-112. Embiid almost had a triple-double, 28, 12, and 8. Thought he had great vision tonight. We should sign Skip Bayless. Oh, I hate Skip Bayless. No problem, New Jersey. I got you. We got to trade Bayless. Bayless is trash. Nobody's going to take him. He's got less value than Okafor did. So what are we going to trade him for? A used sock? Ain't nobody want Egghead Bayless. Maybe he could be a spokesperson for the Egg McMuffin. Do you see Joel Embiid, Wall, Bitterbirds? What do you mean by that? Do I see him hitting a wall? Yeah, right. That'd be sick if I could play. Jonah Bolden. I know. Imagine him. He would be a great element off the bench. It sucks that contract situation happened like it did, because he would be such a great spark off the bench. We have him to look forward to next season. They made a wall with the Bitter Birds wall, Sean Brace. Yeah, that's sick. That artist is unbelievable. I hope to do that one day when I own my own house. I'm just going to deck out my basement like that, my man cave. I don't do any painting. I do draw, but yeah, I think that's a sick addition for Sean Brace. That's actually the PI right there. That's Sean. He owns the. Adrian works with him. I'm a huge fan and believer in Fultz. People are way too quick to call him a bust. Yeah, he's definitely not a bust. Way too early to be calling him a bust. He had an injury that was affecting his play, obviously. Yeah, I'd like to have both of them on my wall, but I'm excited for Fultz. I definitely think he's going to be a stud superstar player, but we can't tell until he's actually on the court. Do they hold him out for the whole year? I hope not. Bayless and Amir Johnson for a solid scoring guard or some sort. I don't think that's going to be enough, Ron. You'd have to throw some type of value in there. What do those two guys do? Bayless is just trash. He plays some decent defense. I'd have to give him for that. But he's so inconsistent with his shooting. That's the whole reason we brought him here. Can't wait to see Dennis Smith Jr. versus Mark. I'm sure you are, since you're a Dallas fan. Dennis Smith is a beast. Definitely wrong on that one. I was definitely too quick to call him. I said he was either going to be a boom or a bust. But that kid has proven me wrong. He's a freaking stud. He's unbelievable. I think he's right behind. Well, before, I think Mitchell leapfrogged him. But he was right behind Ben Simmons at one point for Rookie of the Year. I'd have to look at the standings. I know Ben has definitely dropped with his play over the past week and a half. He's really got to pick it up. I feel bad. Both guys injured now. We got a steal in him. Who wins Rookie of the Year? Donovan Mitchell's a stud, too. It was a great year for the draft. A lot of good guys. Kyle, I told you about Dennis Smith. You did, Ron. I'm salty as shit about that. You told me. You proved me wrong. I'll eat it. I ate crow. I admit it I admit when I'm wrong. He's a beast. Yeah, Adrian. I think Adrian has admitted he was wrong on Dennis Smith, too. He had that huge boomer bust potential out of any player. He could either be a superstar or a guy that's going to be like Anthony Bennett. That's what I was trying to think of. But he could just straight score. He could just get buckets. He's awesome. And the Knicks passed on him. That should just show you a lot about that organization right there. The Knicks are a joke. Good job, Phil Jackson. Thank you for destroying it. I love to see New York fail at everything. Love it. Even though the Yankees just got Stanton, and they're probably going to get Machado, which I think is complete crap. I'm going to ruin baseball, but it's another sport, another talk. Trust me next time, though. I followed him since high school. Hey, man, would we have taken him if we didn't trade up to get Fultz? It would have been interesting. Dennis Smith or Tatum. I think they would have went Tatum, which I wouldn't have minded either because I think he's going to be a beast. But this might be one of the best classes since that 03 class. When do you think the Sixers will let JoJo play back-to-backs? Not this year, he's not. Who is Stanton and Judge power duo? God, man, if they can add Machado to that power duo, that might be one of the best hitting lineups to ever play the game. I know they said last time an AL and an NL home run champion have played on a team was, I think, 1975. The Phillies did it, had them. So whoever that was, I wasn't around for that. But in that small ballpark with Stanton, Judge, and Machado, you're talking probably over, combined with Judge and Stanton last year, they had over 111 home runs. You had a Machado who hits 35 bombs a year in that in that division with Tampa Bay and the Orioles and the freaking Boston Red Sox stadium. They're all really, really small parks. They'd be hitting bombs for days. They'd outscore teams by like 10 runs. Look at that. Got me talking about baseball in a Sixers vid. But we're definitely going to be doing a baseball vid over the winter meetings. Me, Adrian, and Tony D. Good luck to your Jags, lad. They beat the Hawks. Yo, that was a huge win, man. Huge win. My Jags beat them up. Even though the score didn't display it, so happy to beat them. I think the Jags are surging. I don't see anybody in the AFC that can really slow them down. It all depends on Blake Bortles, though. He's the big X factor in this whole thing because the defense can't do everything. They can lock them down. I think they're getting to an elite defense. They're a great defense. Not elite just yet. I would love somehow to get Beal. I don't really want Beal, to tell you the truth. I think he's still locked up. We'd have to trade for him, but he's too injury-prone for me. He can get buckets, but he's hurt all the time. That was a huge debate before he signed that extension with Washington. Me and Adrian had about a few videos ago, about a couple months ago, if we wanted Beal or not, and the pros and cons. But his injury history with paying him all that money, I'm not all about it. How far do you think the Eagles are going to get? Without Wentz, they're going to get knocked out. Jags, they got the best corner duo. That's they do, man. They're studs. Getting A.J. Boye was huge for my squad. Bradley Beal is not going anywhere, and neither is Damian Lillard. Yeah, I agree. I can't see Portland ever letting him go. And Beal, I'm not a fan. I would decline to really get him. But yeah, hey, we got some football talk. Eagles, though, huge loss. It was so sad to see Wentz go down. I was really pulling for them. I was really hoping to see an Eagles-Jacksonville, in my delusional dreams, Super Bowl. But, yeah, that was a huge loss, losing Wentz. You can talk about losing Peters and Hicks and, other guys like that throughout the season, but you're losing an MVP candidate like that, your chances are going to plummet to go down to the Super Bowl. Nick Foles can run the offense, but I don't think that defense is good enough to really carry them throughout the playoffs. They've talked about the Giants, but I heard the Giants had a historic team back in 1990 when Phil Simms went out. The Eagles' defense isn't that good enough to carry them. I mean, you do have great running backs. You're going to have to find that ratio to really ride Blunt and Jay Ajayi and just play smash-mouth football. Hey, man, The NFC is jacked. It's juiced. It's got a ton of great teams in there, so it's got to be hard. And if you can get a team like the Packers to get hot, look out. Eagles are cursed. Something always happens. Still love them, though. And that's why you don't want Wentz running, for that reason. And you can't blame Doug Peterson. It was just a freak thing. Carson he loved contact. You saw it in college. You saw it in his first 2 years in the league. You know, being able to pull the ball down when you're 6'5", 240, you figure you can run over everybody. And it's just, you don't want your franchise quarterback to do that. He tried to make a play to go for a touchdown, and he tore his ACL because of it. It's nobody's fault to blame. It's just a freak thing. You know, they're saying, why didn't they run when you got Blunt and Ajayi? Hey, they threw it. They tried to make a play. It just, shit happens. You just got to deal with it. Next man up. It is what it is. Let's see if Nicky Foles can lead this team to the promised land. But here's the thing, too. He's a guy that gets hurt a lot. And then where you're going to have, I can't even pronounce that third-string quarterback that they just brought up from the practice squad. But I was really hoping, for the Birds, just for my dad and my uncle, who are huge Eagle fans, die hard. They've been waiting for a Super Bowl for the longest time, 60-plus years. And I thought they were actually going to do it this season. Wentz was going to lead them. And he still better win MVP. I swear to God, if they get it to Tom Brady, I'm going to bug out. And I could see them easily doing that. And he was going to set the Eagles' record for touchdowns by a long shot. I don't think anybody would have touched it for a while. I could have seen him easily getting like 38 touchdowns on the year. For sure. Yeah, Sudfeld. Like, you kidding me? Positive note to get out of the Wentz injury, though. I'm facing a guy who had Wentz in fantasy football who was killing people because he had Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, and Carson Wentz, who was basically carrying his squad. So now with him out, I might have a chance to beat him. I'd like to see a Jaguars-Saints Super Bowl. Great offenses versus great defense. That would be sick. Yeah, the Saints are cooking. He's not going to get... Yeah, he's not going to get it. They're going to give it to Brady. If at all, now with Wentz out of the picture, it should go to Russell Wilson. By far, that guy is that entire team. Nick needs a backup. Yeah, he does. I will give it to Nick Foles, though. He's one of the better backups out of the league. He knows the system. He knows the West Coast offense. He was with the Chiefs. You just got to worry about that tendonitis. Don't forget, he did have that 27-2 season, and the team he has now is a lot better than that team he had back in the day. Kaepernick, RG3? Nah. Finally? Oh, I'm sorry, Eric. You hating on me? Sorry, bro. I had to get a video out. I'm slacking. I know. I'm slacking. I had to get this video out. I was just telling everybody, though, I just watched the game. It's freaking work. It's killing me. I hate it. Hate my job. Blows. Just want to talk about sports all day. But... yeah, huge. Look at that. We're talking about football, and I'm rambling for 40 minutes. Sorry, guys. I got to get to work in about 4 hours. But I'm going to end this on that note. It was great talking some football. Got a little baseball even in there. Sixers win from last night. Face a huge opponent on Friday. I'm going to try to get down early enough to do a video down at the center. I don't know if you guys can, enjoy me doing it down there. Sixers, dog. I know, right? Finally, that four-game skid was killing me. Killing me, losing to Phoenix and the Lakers. I was so damn mad I didn't even make videos. Shit. What's up with the big foreign dude coming over next year to Philly? Oh, Jonah Bolden? He'll definitely be here. He only had a one-year deal left with his Serbian team. So after that, he will definitely be in a Sixers uniform next season. And he's a Swiss Army knife. Pazernix or something like that. Bolden with start. You're saying Bolden's going to start? I'd rather him come off the bench. I think Dario is a great fit in the starting lineup. Yeah, he could. The only thing he's got over Dario is is the way he's able to play defense. Way more silky smooth. Big, tall, white dude, not ball. Oh, the fake Porzingis? Cowboys, if they're not going to make the playoffs. Screw the Cowboys, bro. They ain't making the playoffs. Although I have to give it to, what's his face? Dak Prescott. do you think the Knicks are going to make the playoffs? They could. They're playing a lot better than I expected them to. Not sold on the fake KP. No, me neither. And he's not coming over, to answer your question. It's Pag something. Yeah, I'm butchering this bull's name. So, whatever it is, it begins with a P. Sixers' biggest need. Guard. Yeah, the fake Porzingis. That's what he's Porzingis without that it factor. But he's still, I'd say, about 4 years away from making it to the NBA. But Dak Prescott, to answer your question, Cowboys X factor, he's very raw. He doesn't have the offensive talent that KP does. Shoot, sorry guys.